In this lesson, we're going to continue to get familiar with the Final Cut Pro workspace, and we'll be looking in more detail at the browser window and the viewer window, as well as looking at some of the ways of navigating through our media material. To give you a better sense of the workspace, I've gone ahead and opened an existing project that already has material to work with. First, let's look at the browser window. This window displays a list of all the material that I'll be working with in this project. Remember that this project does not actually contain the media files. The media files are located in another folder on the scratch disk. If I right-click on one of the media files icons and choose Item Properties, I can see where the actual file is located. Since Final Cut finds media files based on their location, it's a good idea to avoid moving source media files from one location to another whenever possible. Different file types have different icons in the browser window. Video files have a blue film frame icon. Audio files have a speaker icon. And image files have a small ABC image icon. The small blue and yellow rectangle is the sequence icon. Whatever you edit in the timeline is displayed as a sequence. If you're working on a large project, you may want to divide it up into separate, smaller sequences. To create a new sequence, right-click in the browser window and select New Sequence. The larger your projects become, the more you'll want to find ways of keeping things organized in the browser. Creating folders or bins for groups of media is one way to keep things organized. To create a new bin, just right-click in the browser window and select New Bin. You can then drag and drop clips, sequences, and even other bins into it. Clicking the small triangle just to the left of the bin folder icon will show you what's inside. If you double-click the bin folder icon, it will open up in a new window, but I would advise against this as it tends to clutter up the workspace. You can rename a media clip, sequence, or bin by clicking on its name and then typing a new name for it. Renaming a media clip in the browser window will not change the actual clip's name on the scratch disk, however. Another way of organizing clips is by color labels. You can apply color labels by right-clicking on the item's icon and selecting a label color from the pop-up menu. You can choose different thumbnail icon or list view settings in the browser by right-clicking in the browser window. I prefer the list view for the browser window because I like to be able to scroll to the right of the clips in the browser to see various columns of information for each clip or sequence, including its timing information, video format, logging notes, and so on. These columns can be arranged to whatever order you like by dragging the column header to the left or right. Clicking the column header will sort your browser items in ascending or descending order by name, duration, format, or whatever column attribute you select. Next, let's take a look at the viewer window. To give you a better idea of the viewer window's functions, let's open up a clip in the viewer window by double-clicking its icon in the browser. You can also just drag and drop the clip's icon into the viewer window. The viewer window is where you change the attributes of a clip, such as the in and out point of a clip, which is basically where you want the clip to start and stop. You can also use the viewer window Filters tab to adjust effects or filter settings. You can use the Motion tab to resize or change the position of a clip on the screen, to crop a clip's edges, to distort the rectangularity of a clip, change the opacity or transparency of a clip, or to add a drop shadow to the edges. Let's go back to the Video tab, and if we look to the lower right of the viewer window, we'll find the Generators button. Generators are different types of video material that Final Cut can create internally. There are generators for video textures, gradients, color mats, test patterns, different types of text, and other material. If you select one of the generators, it will open up in the viewer window, and you can change its settings using the Controls tab, as well as any of the other tabs. The Controls tab in the viewer window only appears when working on a generator clip. Once we have a clip in the viewer, we'll need to navigate through it. Final Cut has many ways of navigating through a clip. First of all, let's look at the navigation buttons just below the video display area. In the center is the play button. If I click it, the clip will play at normal speed. Click it again, and it stops. With the clip stopped, we can also shuttle quickly forward or backward through a clip by moving the shuttle control to the right or left. We can also move slowly through a clip by clicking and dragging the jog wheel forward or backward. As we move through a clip, you can see that the small yellow playhead moves along just beneath the clip. By clicking and dragging the playhead, we can also quickly navigate to any area of the clip. Since working with a mouse is not the quickest way to work in Final Cut, it would be a good idea to learn the keyboard shortcuts for the actions you use most often. For navigation, try using the spacebar to play and pause. You can also use the J, K, and L keys to navigate. J will play the clip in reverse, L will play the clip forward, and K will stop playback. Hitting J or L repeatedly will speed up the reverse or forward playback. Use the up arrow on the keyboard to jump to the beginning of a clip, the down arrow to jump to the end of it. The right and left arrows will move you forward or backward one frame at a time. If you hold the Shift button while using the right or left arrows, you will jump ahead or back 1 second at a time. Another way of navigating through a clip is by entering a specific time code in the time field. At the top of the window, you'll see 2 time fields. One is for the duration of the clip, and the other shows the playhead's current location. To navigate to a specific point, just type in the minutes, seconds, and frame number you want to jump to. You don't need to type in colons, but make sure you use zeros before single digits so that you have 3 pairs of digits. After you type in a timecode location, hit the return button on your keyboard and the playhead will jump to the desired location. Since editing requires a lot of navigating through media files, and since Final Cut has many navigation options, it's up to you to find which methods work best for you.